Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. I hope you're all rested from the weekend. It is another day in court. It's Monday the 27th of November and Sergeant Mokhane is back on the stand. Before we get into the proceedings, disclaimer, I am not a legal expert nor am I a legal advisor. I am just interested in this case and I will take you through the proceedings of the day and will throw in my opinions here and there. Today, the proceedings started with Baloyi just reminding the court that Sergeant Mokhane's testimony or cross-examination was stood down so that Mr. Dupree could come and give us the AVL report. So today we're continuing with cross-examination of Mr. Mokhane, and previously it was Mr. Mnisi, defense for accused number 3, who was about to cross-examine Sergeant Mokhane, and Mr. Mnisi says after listening to the evidence of Mr. Dupree, he has no questions for this witness. Mr. Ngumalo, who is the defense for accused number 4, also says he has no cross-examination for this witness. We then go to the defense for accused number 5, which is Munyeki, as Mshololo is not present in court today. Advocate Munyeki takes the witness through the events of the 18th of June 2020 when they went to Carltonville to confirm his employment. He then just puts it on record that they left the police station at 8:11, which was at Pretoria North Police Station, and arrived at the mines around 25 past 10. He then just concludes by saying they stayed at the mines for 7.5 hours, and then after that they went to Alberton and they arrived there at 18:53 and they were there for the duration of the night. Mr. Munyeki then puts it to the witness that he did not give this evidence, he did not mention all of this in his evidence in chief, which he is absolutely correct, because initially when Mokhane led his evidence, there was nothing relating to an engine garage. In fact, when the defense for accused number 1 and 2 put it to him that there was a garage mentioned by the accused in his version, Mokhane had disputed these allegations. And once the AVL was produced, he then changed his testimony and said that they had a car breakdown at the engine garage. The judge then questions which evidence Munyeki is referring to, and Munyeki does state that it's the evidence with regards to the garage. He says that this was never mentioned, it only came up once the AVL was submitted. Baloyi then objects to this point and says, no, the witness did mention a mechanical breakdown. The judge also puts in his 2 cents, saying that he's arguing with regards to the time being 0019. And Munyeki just clarifies and says, if it wasn't for AVL, the court would not know about this information because this person had not stated it in his evidence in chief. So he is only now giving this version of the evidence once the AVL has been produced. And then he says, let me remind you, and he reminds the witness that when he was questioned with regards to the 17 hours that were spent with the accused, he first said the first reason why they took so long with the accused is that they were busy with other investigation. And the second reason was that the accused was going to be bored in the cells as he was in a single cell. And this evidence, we remember clearly, it was a laughing matter on the day that they didn't want the accused to be bored, so that's why they didn't take him back to the cells, failing to mention that they had a car breakdown for almost 5 hours with the accused. Advocate Munyeki then puts it to the witness that he had the opportunity to tell the court about the breakdown and he didn't. Also, Munyeki puts it to the witness that Jonathan, one of the other EMPD officers that testified, did not give evidence telling us with regards to him calling a mechanic for Sergeant Mokhane. That evidence was left out, and Mokhane says he doesn't know why Jonathan could have left out that evidence. Munyeki then puts it to him that he left that evidence out because it did not take place. However, he will leave this point for argument. After confirming the hours that were spent with the accused on both the 17th and the 18th, on both the 18th and the 19th, Munyeki then touches on the issue of food, whether the accused was given food or provided with food. And the witness then says, whatever we ate on the day, we ate with the witness. And Munyeki puts it to the witness that there is no proof before the court that they actually did give this accused food on the 2 days. The first day being the 17 hours they spent with him, the second day being the 23 hours they spent with him. So he just does put it to the court that they did give him food, and he ate everything that they ate. Munyeki then touched on the very crucial cross-examination point that I was waiting for, because the judge had intervened with regards to this prior, and Munyeki was now bringing it back with regards to the traveling from Morocco to Rustenburg. The first point being the quickest route to travel from Morocco to Rustenburg was according to Munyeki, the Randfontein-Krugersdorp route, which takes about an hour and a half. However, the witnesses, they took the N1 to Pretoria to Rustenburg route. And according to the evidence, it ended up taking them more than 4 hours, which does not make sense. However, that is the route that they decided to go with. And now the main question that Munyeki then went to is the point that when he left to Rustenburg, the first place he went to when he got to Rustenburg, where was it? Now the witness says he does not remember. He doesn't remember whether they started at the police station or whether they went straight to the accused's place. And Munyeki puts it to him that he is somersaulting now, because according to the record on the 14th of November, he told the court that they went straight to the accuser's house. And Munyeki even quotes the street Bao Street in Freedom Park. Then the witness says the only reason why he read Bao Street is because of the AVL report, which then is in line with what Munyeki is saying, is that this witness changed his evidence based on the AVL. Initially, he had said that they went to the police station first, because when they go to an area in which they are unfamiliar with, they need to start at the police station before they head into the areas within that place. But according to the AVL report, it reflects the vehicle moving directly to the accused's house of residence without passing the police station. So this point will be argued after the short adjournment. We then took the short adjournment. After the short adjournment, Baloyi then addresses the court that there was a scuffle between the accused and the guards. I will attach the video above. So the judge then tried to get clarity as to what happened during the short adjournment. The accused then said this particular guard seems to have issues with them stretching their legs during the short adjournment, and he then threatened to hit them, and obviously they retaliated. So the judge then just quoted the Criminal Procedures Act, Section 159 in brackets 1, which talks to the conduct of the accused during a trial, and that issue was then the judge just said because he was not present, he can't really say what happened, but he doesn't expect this type of behavior in court. Once we were done sorting out that issue of the scuffle, Munyeki then says he's about to wrap up, and then he asked the witness with regards to the evidence of the 19th, and the witness then says he recalls that this was his evidence that they went straight to Ndanzi's house, or accused number 2's house. However, he doesn't quite remember because there seems to be a lot of confusion, and also as a human he does tend to forget. Then Munyeki reminds him that on the 6th of November he gave a different version, which was that they go to a police station if they visit a new area. And he says by law that is what we're supposed to do, but clearly he did not follow the law in this instance because he did not go to the police station. As they were trying to continue with the cross-examination, the microphones inside the court were dysfunctional, so they decided to take an adjournment just to get those issues sorted out. After the adjournment with the issue of the mics, the defense for accused number 5, then continued to question the witness with regards to the hours that they spent with the accused, which was plus minus 40 hours when he calculated. And in those 40 hours, he basically was allowed to sleep or could get decent sleep for less than 3 hours. After this was put to the witness then says, the cars that we travel in are actually luxury cars, so it's very comfortable to sleep in these cars. I don't think this witness actually realizes what he was saying before the court, because how dare he say that the accused had proper sleep when he had been in a vehicle for 40 hours with handcuffs on, but still say because it's a luxury car, it's comfortable. A car isn't as comfortable as a bed. That's just my opinion. He then, the defense for the accused then says there was evidence by Magistrate Cronier, who said that when the accused went to see her, the things that he requested from the magistrate was that he asked for a bath, which indicated that he had not taken a bath from the 16th of June when he was arrested, and when he went to see Cronier, it was on the 24th of June, so he had not taken a bath in 8 days. And the second request is that he get a change in clothes, which means he had not changed his clothes in 8 days. And the last request was that he gets a phone call to his family, which means he had not received a call in 8 days. If that's not a violation of rights, then I really don't know. The witness then says he was not responsible for getting the accused's clothes and bathing issues. The person who was responsible was his partner, which was Sergeant Mabena. And the defense then says it's convenient for you to tell us that because Mabena is no more, so therefore he can't come and actually corroborate your version. The defense for accused number 5 then completed his cross-examination. Then Mngomezulu for accused number 1 and 2 just had 2 questions for the witness with regards to the 20th and the 24th, where he said he did not use his car on these days when traveling with the accused. He was using Mabena's van. And then Mngomezulu asks him to read Jonathan's answer with cross-examination, and Jonathan basically says on this day when they traveled from court, the accused was transported in a white Fortuner, which is contradictory to what Sergeant Mohane has told us. The judge then reminds Mngomezulu that he had requested the dockets for the Nongoma case, in which the dockets were not received by the court. It was said that these dockets would be brought to court by Brigadier GININDA, which for me, it doesn't make sense for them to question this witness about those dockets when the dockets aren't before the court. So Mngomezulu said he does not have any questions with regards to those dockets to this witness. The witness then stood down and we were done with Mohane for the day. The next witness that the state called was Vishan Singh, who was apparently the head of the EMPD officers that have come to testify before the court. Mr. Singh didn't have much for us for today. We basically confirmed his years of service and his position, and he says he was a superintendent. But when he was asked with regards to the process and the nature of relationship with the EMPD and the SAPS, he just says we would help them with high-profile cases, with escorts and arrests if needed, and then he basically says that at first, when they were approached with regards to this case, there was a formal communication. However, as the investigations continued and services were required at short notice, they no longer contacted him, but they would contact Buthelezi directly, and he would then relay the information to him. Now, with regards to the members of this so-called unit, he does mention a few, which are the few that have testified before the court. However, he does say that this unit contained about plus minus 20 members. This was now during cross-examination. Before cross-examination, he confirms that there was no formal agreement between the EMPD and the SAPS. Basically, there's no proof that these services were requested, so nothing was in writing, and Baloyi concluded his examination in chief with this witness. Mngomezulu then proceeded with the cross-examination where he asked the number of people in the unit, and he says there were plus minus 20 people. However, as we've seen with regards to all these accused in this case, only just a few members were used. He asked about the times that they were working, and he says they worked flexible hours. And then also he asked about the vehicles which were assigned to the unit, and he says there were only about 3 vehicles that were assigned. And when Mngomezulu asked for the registration numbers of these vehicles, he did not know the registrations. And also when he was asked about the makes, he didn't tell us about the makes of the car. But this to me was very confusing, because being a witness before the court and you are a superintendent for a specific unit, you should know the people that are working in the unit. You should know the vehicles that they are using to actually provide the services in this unit, and the registrations. Even if you don't know them by head, you should have some sort of documentation which could assist the court. But as I said, this witness had nothing and therefore could not assist the court much. The defense for accused number 3, 4, and 5 had no cross-examination questions, and Baloyi obviously didn't have any re-examination after Mngomezulu's questions. Now, after this witness stood down, then Baloyi called upon the next witness, which is the long-awaited Brigadier Ndlovu, who is the investigating officer of this case 636. Brigadier GININDA is witness number 78, and Baloyi just basically tells us that he will be testifying on a new exhibit, which is Exhibit YY. And before that, there were a bit of formalities that needed to be addressed with regards to accused number 3, 4, and 5, because originally there were some warning statements that were taken from these 3 accused, and the defense for the accused were just questioning if GININDA would testify with regards to these warning statements. The state then does say that he will be testifying, and we got into the evidence in chief, whereby GININDA tells us that he has 30 years experience in the police service, and he is the commander of the cold case unit. He then goes into details of his career history. I'm not going to go too much into detail with that because he was in and out of different task teams. However, since 2021, he has been the national head of the cold case unit. He then confirms knowing Mohane and Mohola, and he is the lead investigator in this case. He gives us the details of the case, which is case number 636 of 10 of 2024, which is the murder of Senzo Meyiwa, who was killed in Vosloorus on the 26th of October in 2014 around 8:30 in the evening to 9 o'clock. He then just basically gives us a breakdown of what their unit does, and he does mention that the Tembisa CAS 217 of 3 of 2019 was assigned to his unit, and it was assigned to Mohola. And he then goes on to explain how it was that this accused number 1 was arrested on the 30th of May in 2020. He continues to lead his evidence with regards to what happened after the accused was arrested. He says he was contacted by Mohola with regards to this accused arrest, and he requested that since they were going to Vosloorus, that they meet him at the Vosloorus police station. And he says that happened around 1900 hours, where he met with Mohola and Mabena, and he introduced himself to the accused, and he does say that Buthelezi was also present. He then obviously goes into the warning or the rights that were read to the accused, and also basically how the rights were read and in which language they were read, which he says they were read in isiZulu, and he's very proficient in isiZulu as his mom is a Zulu speaker, and he also studied isiZulu from grade 1 basically through to matric. He then says that after he introduced himself to the accused, he then asked Mogola and Mabena to excuse themselves so that he could talk to the accused on his own. He read the rights to this accused again, and that was basically the end of the proceedings for today. We will proceed with Brigadier GININDA's evidence tomorrow. It should be interesting, and it's gonna be long because GININDA is the person who has been mentioned by every single witness so far, and he is the lead investigating officer in this case. See you tomorrow.